Begin. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need these things. You're going to need an eraser, block, or at the end of a pencil, and a ruler. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to create a small business card size rectangle. Notice that it's higher up in the room. There's good reason for that, as below this rectangle will be the floor of the room. So, after that, we will be creating a X. And the X will go both inside and outside of this rectangle. So I'm just lining it up. And lining up. While I'm doing this, for those who are wondering how big this rectangle is, I'd say maybe 2 by 3 inches. Alright, and another thing to notice is, notice how my wall lines here, trying to make these darker so you can see them, do not go to the corner of the page. Alright. Okay. And with creating the X inside the square, the rectangle, you will be able to see where the vanishing point is. So just as in the last video, you do need that vanishing point for the entire video, for the entire drawing. Alright, so let's get started with things that, as the next project you will be doing is creating your own room, and I'm basing this off of the top questions I'm asked when creating your own 1 point perspective room. So the number one question is, the top chosen room is the bedroom, whether it be found on Google or, maybe it's your own room. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start by making that, go to the back wall. And to do that, I'm going to start with the side of the bed that you would be facing. So when you think of a bed, think of, the mattress. When you look at the side of the mattress, it's technically a rectangle. So that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to create this rectangle. And I'm going to do just as I did before with the square and connect the lines. I'm only going to draw the line until it arrives to the back wall. So now I have my bed coming together. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did in the previous video. Line up the segment of the rectangle, drag it down, place the line. So again, line up the ruler to the segment, drag it down until you arrive to the first line, draw straight down. So now you have a rectangle of sorts, and you can clean it up by, erasing anything that's on the inside, like this line that represents the wall, the corner. Notice my bed went a little too far. Continue. There. And there you have it. So other things we can add to this bed is a headboard. And to do that, you're just going to create 2 vertical lines here. And, you know, we're just going to make it just a perfect rectangle, but because it's on the back wall, it technically doesn't go to the vanishing point since the vanishing point is on the back wall. So you could make it, you know, kind of angular, wavy, curvy, 100% up to you. All right, so now you have this very rigid bed, and let's go ahead and make it not rigid. So the first things we can do is add some pillows, and by pillows, you know, create some rounded lines like so. Notice I start with like a form of an oval, then some rounded lines, maybe some creases in between. Maybe you have 3 pillows. I don't know. Alright. The next thing we're going to do is fabric. Now notice how this bed looks, you know, like it's made out of wood. So let's make it have a nice poofy comforter. So I'm going to go ahead and start with some legs. I mean, not some legs. Well, let's do some legs. Now that I, you know, thinking of legs, drawing some comforter. All right, let's fix that. So we're going to actually start with some legs. Make sure it's touching the floor. I want to make them a little level. There we go. All right. And to make them 3-dimensional, just give 1 point. Have it go to the vanishing point. Just a smidge. And create a vertical line. So now you have that. Now let's get back to that comforter. All right, so here we go. So I'm just going to create some wavy lines. With this, create like a U followed by a V. Some wavy lines here. You know, make the waves big, not choppy and small. All right, you want to make it look like you did make the bed. Unless you want to purposely make it look like you did not make the bed, and that would be fun. And have more choppy lines and have maybe the fabric roll over. All right. And there we go. Maybe the headboard has a fun design as well. And there we go. Number 2 question I'm asked when creating a room is, or when you are creating a room, I mean, is kitchens. And so when looking at pictures of kitchens, of, you know, on Google or your own, generally they're going to be head on, and you're going to see maybe perhaps a countertop in the back and a countertop on the side wall. So here's how you go about it. So we're going to start with just creating the side of the countertop, which is just going to be a small square. Notice my square is on the floor and on the side wall. Then we're going to create our points to go to our vanishing point. Now I'm not going to make them go all the way because we're thinking ahead to our back countertop. Alright. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to allow this line here that goes to the vanishing point to actually go a little past it there. Alright. And we're going to turn this into a dot. And we're going to allow this one to go a little further down because we're creating the corner. Now watch this closely. Because this is very easy to mess up in the sense of maybe it becomes too small and you need to readjust. Once you have these lines here going closer to the back wall, you should have them generally like these top 2 on the back wall and this one definitely encroaching out upon it. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to do just as you did with the square in 1 point perspective blocks video. You're going to drag it down, place a nice horizontal line. Do the same thing with the side, drag it down, place a nice vertical line. And then, as I said about the backboard here, you know, things on the back wall don't go to the vanishing point. So just start with a rectangle. Notice my rectangle here starts on the floor. And then on the top here, you know, use your current countertop as a guide for your thickness. All right, now you have that. Now, just to give some sort of a depth, I'm going to do a super duper diagonal line there and then connect in the back here. All right, so that's what I have. Now, feel free to watch this video multiple times. Notice this line here was still going farther back than this cutoff, so I was able to attach this to that. All right, now let's add things to this kitchen countertop. So one thing that you would generally see is perhaps a sink. And for a sink, what you're going to do is create a small horizontal line in the center there. Create 2 dots. Side. Side. And connect with another horizontal line. Now, to show depth, you're going to take this corner straight down, and now you have a sink. All right, for a faucet, you know, you can just start by doing, you know, kind of like a thick line and kind of hook over, of course, the hot and cold, and maybe the sprayer, if the sprayer's on the side. All right, so that's your sink. The next thing is now to work on cabinets. I still have my walls here drawn, so I'm going to go ahead and erase them before I begin. And whatever you do for as far as cabinets, the verticals always, or the walls of the cabinet doors are always going to be vertical, no matter side or back. All right, and then from there, if you're doing some drawers, you know, give yourself a dot to work off of at least, and then create those cabinets, drawers. Back wall, you know, as long as they're horizontal, they're good. If you want it to be a big door, go for it. Maybe some little knobs. All right, knobs. Handle. Handle. All right, so there's your kitchen. So let's go ahead and add a door since we're on this wall. And to do that, what you're going to do is just start with a straight line. And you're going to create a dot. So to create the door, you're going to line up the ruler with the dot. And you can just have it go off the side and erase the line underneath. Then, for that room, you need a floor. And I'm just going to create a nice straight line.